Sometimes in boating, we forget things. It's gonna happen, we are all human, and every once in a while we're going to make mistakes. All you can really do is hope that when you actually do forget something in boating, it was one of the small things and not something big. Just like some of the things we're going to witness in this week's episode of Boneheaded Boaters of the Week. Kinda like our crew here, who had a late night craving for the bell, but forgot when they pulled in that they had a trailer in tow. Whatever you're gonna do, if you get done fishing and you're hungry, don't let that hunger get you and get hangry and try running through the bell with the boat in tow. It doesn't always work out well. Now don't get me wrong, some drive-thrus may be equipped for it, but then you've got the ones like this that are in no way equipped for it whatsoever, and the worst part, our guy's not done. It probably only gets worse from here. And speaking of things getting worse, one of those things we could forget is one of the old drain plugs in one of the tunes when we take that tuner out. Now the good news is if you wind up forgetting one of those plugs, you can do like this crew if you got enough people on board. Go ahead and shuffle everybody around to kind of level that weight out. I mean, you know what they say, you can't sink a tune. Or how about that time you went and forgot the boat ramp was closed?
Yeah, dude, absolutely totaled it. Get in there, yeah? Just keep on its lid, brother. Get that.
Or even worse, that time that you were at work and you were on break and you forgot they were unloading the vessel and you decided to go across the catwalk. Fortunately, nobody was hurt in this one. My guy, one of the luckiest people alive. And then of course there was that time you were supposed to be at work, but you forgot you were supposed to be there, so you had to catch back up to the boat to try and get back on. Or there's always the time when you went out to go move the boat, and well, you forgot to take the crew all together, and you wound up having to do it by yourself. Sometimes when you do that, you gotta get a little innovative. Or the time you forgot it was low water. Then of course there's that time you forgot that you don't know how to water ski, but you went out with your buddy anyway, and well, you wound up paying the price on that one. Your sign on this is when the skis say rental skis on and you probably shouldn't be in this part of the course. And then of course, the time that you actually forgot to let go of the rope when you went out ski jumping. And of course, even pro captains make mistakes. Sometimes they'll even forget the most basic things like, I don't know, bringing the ship to a stop. And then of course there's that time you forgot to look forward before you stood up. I mean, he really should have caught that one. The bridge was coming a long way away and was easily visible. It's more acceptable when you can't see what's underneath you, kind of like here. And of course, this crew can't see what's underneath them either, but they're riding in the shallows. What do you do at this point? You really don't have much choice other than to do exactly what they're doing. Keep her pinned, let her ride, and hope you make your way through it. And one thing I always tell everybody you have to keep in mind and remember at all times is that you're responsible for your wake, even in this spot. And then of course there are those times you'll invite the boys out there and forget the boys don't necessarily have the same set of skills you do. Not everybody on the road is going to have the same set of skills you do as well, but it's not just on the road, as we've proven over and over again. Sure, we see this kind of stuff happen here, but we see people call it a little too close out on the water as well. Again, in boating, whether you're towing or out on the boat, head on a swivel at all times, always paying attention to everything that's going on, because you never know what's going to happen. I mean, heck, it might just be a simple launch, and the next thing you know, that turns into something not quite so simple. Now let me know in the comments, do you think she's actually at fault in this one? As you saw, she's just sliding down the ramp. It's super slick and winds up getting herself pinned. And speaking of getting pinned, this crew winds up pinning it into the wall and flipping the boat. And here you can see they've wound up in the water. Fortunately, everybody's okay in this one. Nobody appears to be injured, and people jump in and wind up helping these crews out, but kind of a wild scene.
Hey, I got rings. What are you doing?
You always have to pay attention to everything around you. The last thing you want to do is shave it too close to the wall and wind up like them, or well, I guess you can shave it too close to the concrete and wind up like this guy. This is the buzz cut version of boating. The old Concept 27, overloaded and having a good time out at the sandbar. Let me know your thoughts on this one. Are we missing a plug? Or is it just the way the boat is loaded that it looks like this? Because I'll tell you what, it's definitely sitting low in the water. But I guess that's possibly better than sitting high and dry like our guy here. And speaking of high and dry, nothing like going ahead and trying to launch the boat from the dry. That's right, you ain't got a boat ramp, launch it from the beach. But one thing you gotta keep in mind if you're gonna launch it from the beach, make sure whoever's handling the boat has a clue at what they're doing. I guess the same thing applies if you decide to head out to the sandbar. You're going to want to make sure that captain knows what he's doing as well, or you might find yourself stuck out there a little longer than you wanted to be. Then of course there were always those times we thought we were driving the dinghy, but we forgot we were actually driving the yacht.
I'm over there right now. We got him. Get port there! Oh my god, dude.
Now fortunately our next guy doesn't really have to worry about bridge heights too much. He's about as low as you can get on the water, which is kind of key in this situation as he's going to want to try and keep a very low center of gravity and, well, hopefully some good balance. It looks like he's in some sort of barrel race, but let's see how this one actually winds up working out. As all it does is it looks like they cut 2 holes out of a barrel. Well, 2 barrels. Put his legs in and said, go. I heard somebody say, keep your core tight. If my buddies made me do this, they would all be next having to try that. And then of course, one of the worst ones you can do is get out there in the water and forget the old drain plug. And till I saw this, maybe one of the worst things you can do actually is wind up parking your car at the boat ramp in a trailer parking spot. Apparently, that just doesn't play out very well, and sometimes people will take matters into their own hands. And one of the easiest things to forget when you're out there on the boat is being aware of your surroundings. Understand exactly where you're stepping and always being able to watch and look at where you're going and what you're doing, especially if it's a new vessel to you. If it's not your own boat and you're not 100% familiar with it, always make sure you double check before you actually step. And then of course the one thing we'll forget is being sure to check the weather before we go out. You never know when you might be on the way to the boat ramp and things might be a little flooded and, well, you're going to struggle getting there. Maybe in more ways than one. I'll tell you what, the surprising one on this, that dude is as big as the truck. Thanks for watching, crew. Hope you enjoyed this episode of Boneheaded Boaters of the Week. If you ever see anything crazy happening out on your waterways, be sure to hit us up over at Facebook or Instagram at Broncos Guru and let us know, and you might see your stories over here. And if you guys haven't already, go ahead and drop an anchor on the subscribe button.